Hi, my name is Nariba Shepherd.
And I'm Justin Arnett Graham.
And this is Terms of Service. Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, here we are. Back at it.
I know.
Yeah.
I discovered a truth this morning, though.
Oh, okay. Well,
if you wake up and you get ready and you eat breakfast and drink your caffeinated beverage of your choice, you feel better.
Yes, this is, I mean, you know, it's hydration station.
Literally, I never eat before I get here. Well, I'm just like starving until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Okay, well, that is
just hyped up on
fair.
coffee.
That's fair. Well, sorry that we have done that to you in the past. Please don't come for us in the comments.
No, it's not his fault. It's my fault. I'm lazy.
No, you're fine.
How are you doing though?
I'm well. I'm actually. It's been a really interesting time and a really interesting thing because a bitch got a blender.
Ooh.
Okay, and I cannot tell you how much I love it, but I didn't blend anything this morning. But the problem is just like it sounds like a fucking jet taking off.
What kind of blender did you get?
Can't tell you because I don't know.
Okay. So it's not a KitchenAid.
It is not. Okay. No, it is something else. It was actually gifted to me by a wonderful, wonderful friend who, by the time that this episode drops, he will be in the wild, but like in the wild for real. Like he has this whole thing.
I don't fucks with nature like that.
Listen, when I tell you that one of the big things that he's looking forward to is sleeping on a lake.
No.
In a sleeping bag while just gazing at the stars. And I'm like, that sounds extremely
That is open
peaceful.
Air as fuck.
It sounds so peaceful.
All I feel
but
are
then
the
also
bears.
It sounds V-white to me because there's just like, I can't do it.
Listen, my boyfriend just wants to live somewhere that he could put up a hammock and just like sleep in it. He has one of those zip up hammocks for like when he bikes somewhere and he's like, I'm going to sleep here overnight. I don't get it.
No, I don't know. But like, I respect that. And also I really respect this blender.
Okay. One more question about the blender. Is it a square or is it round, the top, the blender top?
That is a wonderful question.
Oh my God, Justin.
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean,
you're such a visual person. I just thought it would be like in your mind's eye.
I'm just like, I see it, but I don't like, I think it's circular. I think it's not a Vitamix if that's what like you're trying to
figure out like if it's a bootleg Vitamix or nah.
I mean, it might be, which is also why it sounds like a fucking jet taking off.
Oh, fair.
Because it's like, it's insane.
It's okay. The 11-year-old discovered smoothies like 3 weeks ago. So every day the blender is dirty.
Oh, that's fine.
And part of the deal is that you have to wash the blender afterwards. So I've just been like fighting with a terrorist. Nope, let me take that back because the world is falling apart. I've been fighting with a teenager. Basically, a preteen.
This is same thing.
I just like, how am I being called cringe by someone who like doesn't know about the world yet?
Well, that sounds like someone that needs to go to their room. So there's that. And I say that in the most respectful way possible.
I feel like we should have brought in our guest while I was trying to decipher what kind of blender.
Well, I mean, we can easily bring in our guest now.
What's up, girl?
But I'm still not gonna know what kind of fucking blender I was given.
Well, text me about it later.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I will take a photo of it when I get back home.
Whatever day that is.
Exactly.
You let me know.
Yeah, I will let you know. I might send it over to you at like 6 a.m. Who knows?
That's fine. I wake up to feed a cat who doesn't understand time.
Okay, that is fair. So on that note. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's great.
Yeah, thank you. It's like a nice little vibe, but we're having really crystal clear oxygen over here. We're surrounded by our plant babies that Nariba has been so wonderful at taking care of. And
so much better at that than I am.
I could never.
They're looking a little sad, but I sprayed them a little bit.
This is sad?
Okay. This is sad. Oh. Yeah. Jay-Z has a whole new leaf, though, in the back.
Jay-Z?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say that he has a whole new leaf on life?
Okay, Jeremy, you know what? You're going to fit in. You're going to fit in perfectly. You're going to fit in perfectly.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
It's great to be here. I'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.
Bada boom, chain. Yes. So thank you for that. Jeremy's coming for my crown here with
I know.
these, ridiculous jokes. But I got you. I got you. It's
Well,
fine.
let's see. The joke's on him now because what's your sign?
Ooh.
Damn, Nariba.
I remember today.
Shit. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
I am a Capricorn.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Oh, I did.
There's a
Yeah.
Taurus rising or something in there.
God.
What's the third?
Yeah, what does this mean?
It basically, you know what? Why don't you?
That's
spell it
Earth
out
on
and-
Earth.
You're what?
That's Earth on Earth.
Okay.
Taurus
Grounded.
rising, grounded. I mean, Taurus rising means that like you present to the world as like a very comfortable person who is. Tauruses are very charming, so are Capricorns. But
I got something to say about Tauruses, but yeah, I'm gonna
listen.
let you
They're
finish.
something else. They're stubborn as shit.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely mostly
Yeah.
Capricorn, but some of that stubborn as shit part.
I mean,
that's,
Capricorns are also stubborn as hell, but like Tauruses take the cake. I am in a full relationship with one, and he makes me crazy sometimes. But Tauruses also like to like feel like comforted, and they like to spend money. Capricorns like money. They are about mining the money.
need it.
It's but
I need all of the money to support my Sagittarius wife, who is let's leave. We gotta go.
yeah.
I love your wife, by the way.
I do too. She's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes, yes, she is.
Sagittarius do always
Gotta
want to go somewhere.
She's probably looking at flights to Vegas or Seattle right now because she's doing that instead of getting ready for work.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Which, when you're a Capricorn and you have all of the monies, you can be like, okay, good
yeah,
point.
just let's go do the thing.
We should do the thing.
Yeah. All right.
Some of my faves are Capricorns. The 11-year-old is a Capricorn. But like that's a young Capricorn. It's not fully developed.
hasn't embraced the I need to work to prove myself
Yes.
thing yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So not so much.
Oh,
This-
just me?
Okay, this bitch
My
is
bad.
this has like two separate ways of saving money. There's like the online like get paid for your chores thing, which I don't
Isn't
fucking
that
understand.
such a weird thing now?
I
You just
don't
like
get it.
you have an app.
It's like a
What?
debit card setup situation. So like every time they do chores, Delaney sends like money for the chores.
Huh.
You check it off on the list and then the parent okays it and the transfer happens. And then I don't know
You like
from
Venmoing
where
your kid.
it basically
Effectively, yeah.
Ah.
and then other people, including myself, will be like, I don't want to do the dishes. I'll give you $6 if you do the dishes type situation. So then now it's like a deli container that's just full of cash.
I mean,
And they love to be like, I have
so,
this amount
yeah.
of money on my phone in my account, but this is how much money I have here. And like, okay, so the epitome of it was, I don't know what happened, but there was a yelling situation like in another part of the house. And I heard the 11-year-old say to the 6-year-old, you're a rat, you're a rat, you're a snitch, and I will never buy anything for you from the store.
Oh my
And
God.
I don't know what happened still. But that shit was hilarious. That's like some raised Chicago shit.
Is the deli of money mysteriously missing now?
Oh,
Right.
well, it travels with them from house to house.
that kind of reminds me to like this random ass Family Guy episode where Brian owed Stewie some money.
Oh, yeah. Or was it Stewie? Oh, yeah. No. Brian owed Stewie. Yeah.
Because Stewie
Broke his neck.
fucked him up.
Yeah.
Yes, and so it's just like 24 hours. 24 hours. But that just you got my money. You got my money. I was like, you know what? I live for that episode.
It's a good one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna leave it there. So,
I've never watched Family Guy before.
well, I will just say I will send you the link of that particular
Cool.
scene. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch it anymore, and this isn't to say to anyone that
Oh, you too cool for TV now?
No, I'm just saying that
Justin is never home.
yeah, I can't do it. But when I am home, I am an old woman who keeps Law and Order SVU on repeat. Like that is my white noise. That is absolutely my white noise. And I don't know what that says about me just deep down inside.
I
but
mean,
these are the facts.
SVU's great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Olivia Benson, excuse me,
All day.
a lion of a woman.
Stabler.
So
when they put him
But
on
I'm not
True
watching
Blood.
Stabler. I'm not watching Stabler's new little thing in regards to the next offshoot of the Law and Order franchise.
I don't even
Because
know anymore.
We're not going to get into it, and I'm certainly not going to drop
I'm not judging you because I'm still watching Grey's Anatomy. So
okay, and also I don't know shit about Grey's Anatomy, but the funny thing about that is everyone just seems to believe that it's going to go on for forever.
I don't know. It has to come to an end. Chandra ain't fucking with ABC no more. She on Netflix now, giving us Bridgerton and shit. So
Nice.
I don't know what's gonna happen with Grey's Anatomy, but I'm gonna still watch it till the wheels fall off. I don't give a fuck. I have to know what's happening.
Okay, I was just like, whoa. I was like, I think I found you a push point with that because I was like, oh, that's
I'm waiting to level
amazing.
up to the point of my relationship with my partner's mom to like talk to her about Grey's Anatomy because she watches it as well, and I think he hates that. We both wear nightgowns, and watch Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my God.
And yeah,
So before we kick this back over to Jeremy,
yes,
I have
Scrubs is the best
something-
medical TV show of all
Scrubs is
time.
absolutely
So good.
fantastic. Yes, yes, Scrubs is absolutely amazing.
Donald
what is it?
Faison.
So good.
Yes, the nightgowns comment just
Nightgowns.
reminded me of this meme that I saw on the good old Bird app. We all know what that is. And it was a photo of essentially like a moo-moo.
Yes.
And someone was just like, you know, y'all can be doing whatever it is that you think you need to be doing out here in these streets. But this right here will have you like, you know, raising 16 kids like in the deep South. And I was like, if that was not my grandmother, I was just like, these are facts. These are absolute facts.
I'm a
Because that was her
moo-moo
whole
bitch.
thing. Like, I mean, there was a whole thing. And I
do
will
not
never
want
forget
16 kids, but I would like
my
a
grandmother.
dog.
So really quick, my grandmother gave birth to 15 children.
absolutely the fuck not.
My mother
Jesus.
is the 7th out of 15, and she just screams middle child syndrome.
110%.
So, you know, and I say that with love to my mom. And I mean, of all of my grandmother's no longer with us. But so every memory that I have of her is just like her, like, just,
Humming
you know,
and doing the
way
thing.
by the water and shit like that. And just like sliding those house shoes from point A to point B in that big old house in Arkansas. And I'm just like, well, you know what? I'm like, at this point, you raised 15 kids.
Do whatever the fuck
I
you
was just
want.
like,
Whatever
I was
you want.
just
Damn
like-
right.
I'm like, you don't have to beat the face. You don't have to do anything. It's just like, because I'm tired just being newly 36.
Yeah,
Listen,
fresh.
I can't even have a cat.
Try having 4.
You
Yeah,
have 4
I
cats?
do.
I have 4 cats.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
All trash cats.
Oh my God. If that is not the
y'all-
name of this episode, I don't know what should be.
All
Four trash cats.
Yes.
All trash cats.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
At Trash Cat Army.
Okay,
Yes.
what's your cat's names? Go.
Okay, first one, Luna.
Oh.
Second one, Tuna.
Oh.
Okay.
Seeing a.
Third one, Fart.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Fourth one, Mark.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I
Okay,
love
like
a
that
cat
is
with
such, oh
human
my God.
names.
That is such a
That is my favorite.
That is such a ridiculous journey that I cannot stand it.
I had a roommate that adopted a cat named Zapatats, and I saw that cat and I was like, your name's Greg. And that motherfucker is 17 now.
I can't handle
He just
it.
like will
Greg's
never die.
out here.
I cannot.
Beep, beep,
I
beep.
cannot
Okay, so my
handle it at
cats
all.
are Nevada Bobby Joe.
Oh,
She
Stop
will
it.
be 8 on March 7th. And then my second cat, her name is Darla Jean Gray, and today's her birthday. She's 2.
Happy birthday.
Shout outs to her.
Yes.
She stole the bag with the roti that I made earlier this week and got her head caught on the handle and was running around the kitchen with this brown paper bag trapped around her head, just
I love
dragging
cats.
the roti
Gotta love it.
everywhere. And then my
I
boyfriend
can hear
has
that
2.
situation playing out in my.
I was at a
hear it.
Blackhawks game and I got a picture of her and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Cats be cats.
And then
Yeah.
his cats
Cats be
are
catty.
Bugaboo, who is 9. Yeah, she's
Fire,
a
Destiny's
she was
Child
a
song. Fire.
wild.
Fire.
He didn't even know that song when he named her.
Who?
Andrew.
Stop it.
Yeah, I know.
Do not have me text Andrew right now. I was like, hold on.
She was like a feral cat that he found in the mountains of Tennessee.
She sounded like she was
And
a
she has like
bugaboo.
no tail. Exactly.
Yeah.
No tail.
Yeah.
She's
I
pure
love that.
white,
I love
long haired. She's beautiful, but a cunt. And then Roosevelt.
So is Luna.
And it's like just
terrorist of the house.
a like a black hole. Black cats look sort of like a black hole because their fur is like sort of incandescent.
Yep.
So you can see them
This
in.
is so
I know.
interesting.
It's listen. Let's not.
because I grew up with two cats. They were orange and white tabby cats, Sunny and Sammy.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, this is fantastic.
yeah, I just like hearing you both speak about your cat situation. It just makes me think of all of the times to where I was just like, you two are the absolute worst, but they were truly the best.
Oh, the cats are the
And
worst,
Sammy,
but they're
Sammy
good.
was terrified of everything, and Sunny.
So is Mark.
That was mine.
Mark's afraid of everything.
Aw.
I'm just like, ugh.
I had a cat like that. Her name was Onyx.
Mark
That's
and,
cute.
Mark and Fart are from the same litter. Luna and Tuna were just,
Trash cats.
all trash cats. We had a feral cat colony at a house we had.
Bears.
I
20
love
something
that.
cats.
Well, so Jeremy,
Hey,
if we can,
we can do whatever we want.
I'd love to get into your background, but before I do, these beautifully delicious beverages, which were created by Ryan of the Garnet team, featuring our friends over at Seedlip. And this is delicious.
Yeah.
And as I'm looking at it, I'm just like, well, how are you going to tell me that this is a non-alcoholic cocktail? Because the fact is, it is.
Yeah.
And so getting into this very specifically, so it's with Seedlip citrus, orange papaya juice, pomegranate, grenadine, some lime juice, orange blossom water, and an edible flower. And on that note, cheers to y'all. And especially cheers to you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Cheers.
joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. This is fantastic. I would
It
like
is.
to take a bath in this.
So
Yeah, this is lovely.
What I like about this is it's giving me the texture of a sour,
Yes.
but there's no egg white in it because I fucking hate egg whites
What's the-
in
what's the
cocktails.
frothy bit
I
on
think it's the
top?
papaya.
Yeah.
The
I was
papaya gives
sure
it that
it was an egg white.
mouthfeel.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like that perfect,
Yeah.
like coat your mouth, but not in like that weird, oh, this is definitely eggs kind of way.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is cute. This is real cute.
I do like that.
Yes. So,
And she's sugar free.
and sugar-free. Absolutely. So, Jeremy, hello.
Hey, bud. How you doing?
Hi, I am wonderful. So, if you could talk to us a bit about your background, we know who you are in regards to
Oh, do we?
to the Zodiac.
I have Instagram.
And also the gram,
Yeah.
But let's get in to you, the
Yeah.
man, the myth, the dope ass dude. Yes.
Your words, not mine.
Okay. Well,
Keep that Capricorn strong in my body.
Okay. Yeah. No worries.
Well, I'm 36, born and raised in Chicago, Northwest Side.
Awesome. Shy City, baby.
Yep,
my God.
I officially
Period.
don't live in Chicago, so I tell people I live in a small suburb just outside of Chicago.
Oh, so you
Respect.
like do
I
it
am
the,
that
you,
person.
so you
'cause
did it the right way.
Oh yeah, because
Okay,
I grew up
okay.
in the city proper, and I was like, no, my zip code is 606. What is yours? Don't play me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just don't.
right.
And then it's like, oh, I'm from Chicago. Where? Naperville. Then
No.
you have your own mayor. Get out.
The land.
Yeah.
The land of zero gravity.
No. Yeah.
But
Jeez. Whoa.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome
Yep.
for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is
Funny
that?
thing.
What's zero gravity?
Zero
Zero
gravity,
gravity.
was
A mess.
yeah. It was an underage, non-alcoholic. I'm throwing up air quotes
Yeah.
right now. Teenage nightclub.
Oh wow!
I used to get down with like the lemonade on the rocks, though, honey. I did. Okay,
That
I was
is just
I was like,
lemonade.
"Dude." It was lemonade on the rocks. Okay, I was
Rocks.
17.
On the rocks.
Yeah,
though.
I was very specific. And the funny thing about zero gravity,
Outside of them entertaining lemonade on the rock.
yes. So, and this, I mean, and people can feel free to drag me about this all they want. But at the moment, I thought that I was truly doing something. So I had a friend that was like, yo, we're trying to slide over to zero gravity. And I was just like, what? That's lame as hell. They're like, well, Mallory from the real world is going to be there. And I was just like, I couldn't even tell you who she is right now.
Oh, same. But I know that name.
Yeah,
but
I was just like,
I don't know her.
Yeah, I was like, let's go. Did we meet Mallory? Absolutely not. Did we have a ton of
your life?
No, just like a ton of, lemonade and like some Pepsi on the rocks.
My God. This on the rocks thing
it's real.
Is that how they oh my God.
They really bought into you thinking you were at a club.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at 17.
But it wasn't closed off though.
No.
To those that were older, which also made it.
That's
mess.
Creepy. Yeah. That's the mess part of it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So how old did you have to be to get in?
16?
I think so.
15 or 16? You had to be. I think you just had to drive, basically.
Right. Yeah. You had to have a license.
A license.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could have had a permit at 15 or whatever if you were good at driver's ed. Oh yeah. Right. Mess. Big mess.
That's crazy. Sloppy.
Crazy.
Naperville. That's wild. Get it together.
No, it's
Naperville being Naperville. Though.
Yeah.
I am going to be in Naperville in a couple of weeks because my friend Nancy is getting ready to bus a baby out. I'm ready.
I was like,
I'm so excited.
Where's this going?
I was like, I have never heard an upcoming pregnancy announcement like that. And wow, that was phenomenal. So thank you so much.
The way that I look at pregnancy is very one-sided. I'm like, you're growing a parasite inside of your body. It's sucking 20% of your brain over to like form this life. You're stupid for the last trimester. And then you just like get overloaded with oxytocin when you like give birth so that you forget that it happened and you like get manipulated by a small human. And I want to do it. Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean,
I went to school for this shit.
Yeah,
I trust.
I'm just like, and I'm definitely like not going to question it.
No,
that's all it is.
That doesn't sound right.
But it is. I'm like, I'm still like, why haven't we found a better way to grow humans?
Oh, I think it's coming.
There's a couple movies about that.
I know, but they're not great. They're not fleshed out very well. I think it could be better.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Well.
But where did you start your
in a tube in a human farm?
You're like, actually,
I'm from a pod.
Nice in Naperville.
Naperville, yeah. No, I grew up on the Northwest Side. I didn't start cooking until I was in my early 20s. After I failed out of DePaul, I wanted to go to school for music. I was a big band geek in high school.
Nice.
Didn't land where I wanted to with that.
The big drum. What's that called?
I don't know.
I think it's just called the big drum.
I say it might just be the big drum.
Yeah, like it's the big drum.
I don't
just
music.
With the big mallet. Were you marching band?
I was not marching band. I literally was in band for 2 days.
Oh.
2 days. And I was like,
Well, then you can say that you played an instrument.
They let me play it.
For 2 days.
2 days.
1 day, actually. But that's fine. No, I mean, it's just like...
Get out.
Yeah, it's just like... But like, the fact is that I still played that big drum.
I guess this is true.
During the time.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
That I was a part of band.
I played the steel pan.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I can say that because I was forced to take the class for the whole year on the weekends. And
Is
then
that
like
the
performed
symbol?
in Carnival. What?
No, this is the big...
You're from...
Come on.
You're of Jamaican descent and you don't know what steel pan is. You don't know what steel pan is?
I literally went the entirely... Yeah, we're going to cut that. I was like, wow. Whew.
Okay, but what did you play in band?
Yes.
I play bass.
Okay.
I started on electric.
Was I playing the bass?
It's all about
the
that
bass is the guitar.
Yeah.
I started on the electric and the guitar, and then I worked my way into
idiot
upright
when
and
it comes
stuff.
to like these instruments right now, but it's fine. We'll get there. We're
good.
Get there.
We're here together. We're getting
learning.
through this.
Yeah.
We're learning together. It's gonna be great. But yes, you played the bass.
Had a couple bands, did that for a while, and then I once I was out of DePaul, an older brother of mine got me into the nightlife industry, and I was helping him at nightclubs he was managing and stuff, doing lights, code check. I was the computer nerd, so it was like make a flyer for me, and then we literally like threw a party for all the people, and he was like, you and me are gonna cook, and I was like, oh cool. Nice. And then it was like, oh, this is fun. And then I went to school, got a job outside of that, and that was what, 2008, 2009.
Dang.
Been pretty much doing it ever since. I took a couple years off after a restaurant that I was at closed, and then I followed the chef to another situation that was just kind of a bad deal. Left and went and played some music again. I got to tour the country, do that whole thing, scratch that itch I never got in high school.
It's amazing.
And then, it was like picking up catering gigs and everything the whole time. And then once it was time to wrap that up, I dabbled in managing front of house for a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good, actually. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I liked the financials. Like I like numbers.
Big
and
Capricorn
stuff like that.
energy.
Hey, if there's something
like
to
numbers.
learn, let me fucking get it, because I need it to live. That's pretty much how I operate. And then I got fired because I broke on accident a bottle of Macallan M.
Oh, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
So then it was like, once that happened, I was out of a job for a couple months, and then I got back into the kitchen, and that was what, 6 or 8 years ago, and it was like, like riding a bike. Once you get back into a kitchen, get your hand on a saute pan, you're like, oh,
I hope so,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I woke up in a panic last week because I'm about to like sell my soul to a friend.
Oh no.
It's a good one.
Okay,
He definitely helped me out. He was working full time, like doing a vending machine, like a health food vending machine situation.
Oh.
He was the chef, the only person working everything Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sundays would drive out to the fucking burbs to help me with brunch while I was like executive chefing and had
Nice.
no staff.
Damn.
So I owe him.
That's a friend.
Yeah. So I'm doing this, but I haven't like worked an actual line in almost a year and a half.
Dude, you'll be fine.
And I'm just like, I woke up panicking. I had like a long ass text message conversation with Maria Russell. I love you. About it. And she was like, it's fine. Like, don't you worry about it.
You'll be fine. You'll
Yeah.
get back in there, and like you'll stumble for like half a second and be like, what the fuck am I? I'm good at this.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Like, and then it just like snaps it, and you're back on it. You're
We'll
going.
see.
Yeah.
It's
Trust. I believe in you.
well, that's really interesting, because it's like, something that we're going to talk about quite a few things, but very specifically the idea of the brigade system.
Yeah. Yep.
Like what that looks like, kind of like the history of the brigade system, which like I don't really know.
I'm not an expert on it,
I'm
but
not an
like
expert,
know
but-
where it came from and kind of why it was, and
Tell me.
So I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it all was a Scaffier back in the day. It was like everybody had their place in the kitchen, and they did one specific thing. Like
Yes.
you had your fish guy, and I'm not even going to try to say the words in
Poisson.
French, poissonnier or something.
Poissonnier.
Yeah, I don't. I'm
Okay.
We
Would
broke it down to just a couple.
Would it be okay to say that we are still in a poissonnier?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
We
welcome
are.
for that. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome for that.
And it's getting spicier. It's getting spicier. The least spicy country in the world has walked into another one. Like, we like this. We gonna take it now.
yeah, that. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We don't listen.
Yep.
All I'm saying is that I've been like in an existential crisis about it, because America is like, I can't believe this is happening. But as someone from a full ass third world country, I was like, I was literally born in a coup.
Yeah,
Like,
are you really?
I don't.
Oh, it's like
Why are you surprised?
it's the literal fucking Pikachu meme. Where like, is this happening?
Yeah.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
You have
it's
no
just
idea
like,
how this
no.
is happening in a country?
No.
Exactly.
Please tell me more.
Well, and it's funny because, well, actually, it's not funny, but there was
kind of funny.
there was a conversation that I was a part of not too long ago, and it just really drove home the fact to where I was just like, you don't get a headline, you don't get like a notification, like, I mean, you don't, like, it's just so far removed.
I learned about it from memes and TikTok.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I have
what
got
the
to send. I have
fuck?
got to send you. I'm gonna send it to you both. This video that's like, if you don't know what's going on in the world, I'm gonna break it down for you in like 90 seconds. And this girl, she's just like went in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's just like
I
Big
posted it in
Bang
my
P
story the
and like
other
all that.
day. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like it was.
I get a
perfect.
lot of my news from your stories because I don't have TikTok. So when you repost them, I'm very thankful because I'm like sick. I don't have to
props.
download another app.
My
and then
depression
also-
makes it good.
I have said in the past, do not have TikTok on your phone because it is a true time suck.
Yeah.
But I say that as someone that has TikTok on my phone. so there is that.
I
So
try
I'm
not to
living
go
that.
on it if I'm in bed because between
That's
like
what I do.
my
Yeah.
partner and I, we will go into a spiral for like 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, no,
I
it was-
can't.
No,
Those are the boundaries.
it was insane.
I get my dabbles from you, and I'm thankful for that. So
And it's very rare that I post like a full TikTok
Right.
ever.
So when you do, I'm like, well, this is clearly important
It is
because if she took the
thank
time to
you.
put it there,
To download
I'm gonna
it
fucking
and
make sure.
re-upload it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
do
Oh
it.
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm like someone's grandma with TikTok. I'm like, share it directly from TikTok to my. I don't want you connected to my Instagram. No,
Don't you
But I'm
read?
gonna let
It's
you
all
take
the
up all this
same
space on my
handle.
phone now.
It's all the same handle. You can find me but I'm just like, no, you can't connect it.
It's different.
Fuck
I
this
swear.
shit. It's different.
You're like, no, not over here. So
the brigade system.
yes, the brigade system. But yes,
If I'm not mistaken, I mean, like, kind of goes back to that, like, everybody has their place and it has their specialized duty. And it's an interesting way to, like, think about work in general and then also, like, a kitchen specifically, because it's like, it's a weird thing because you're completely compartmentalized in everything that you do. So, like, you know, with the joke that everyone's like, well, that's not my job. Like, that shit was real back
Yeah.
then. It was like, well, fish guy's not going to cook meat because he's the fucking fish guy. And like,
The irony of the situation is that kitchens are so anti-union when it started off basically being a union.
right. It was like,
Like, you can't do that.
And that's it. Like, fucking meat guy's not here today. Guess what? There's no fucking meat on the menu, or chef's got to cook it and he's
Exactly.
pissed about it.
Yeah.
right.
And it's like, I think it obviously it evolved from like the 1800s
Yeah.
and shit like that, and it kind of broke it up into like, we have like, you know, garmager, cold apps, hot apps, you know, your veggies and your starches, and then you have like a meat cook and a fish cook, and then you have pastry. And like the first restaurant that I was in outside of school was like that. It was like you started on garmager and then you worked your way up the line, and it
Yep.
was like, it was like you walked in and like you could see the fucking hierarchy just based
Yeah.
off of how many people you had to walk to get to your station. And it's like,
Wow.
and it was like you literally had to look to your right, the way the line was set up. Like you had to look to your right to see your growth in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like if you move further down the line to the right, like then you've done something right. But in
Yes.
doing that, you had to take that person's job. And like that's where I think the brigade system's kind of fucked up, because it's like, it's not really about growth and nurturing. It's about like cutthroat, take it.
Yes.
And, you know, I embraced it. I was, you
Yeah.
know, I was 22-year-old idiot. And I was like, fucking, let's go. And I did. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm taking your job. And like, I watched.
They
like,
took our germ.
They took our germs. And I'm like, yes, I did. Fuck you. But like, I watched friends get fired because I was doing better than them. And I was like, oh, yeah, idiot. And then I was like, going
See,
home.
that's
and
your
I was like,
problem there. You had
that
friends.
sucks. Yeah. I don't have friends anymore. It's fine. I fucking let
You're
that
like, I got
shit
rid of
go.
them. Yeah,
I got a couple
fine.
friends that we, you know, we mental, health check on everybody and shit.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
those are the friends I want. Nah, nobody else. I got my wife, I got my cats, and then my 6-ish friends that we check up
You
on.
damn right.
And that's it. We're
That's
good.
You
about
gotta
it.
keep that circle tight.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely feel that.
But
yeah.
it's weird because like I've worked in only one that was like pretty hardline in that system, and it taught me a lot. It was the, you know, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. Yeah. Oh yeah. It
I
was,
fucking hate that shit. As
Dude,
a
it's
full
insane.
black person, I don't understand that saying. I don't get it.
but like
Is this a CP time reference?
I don't even know. I'm from an island too, so it's like
Island
Island time.
Yeah.
Island time is
it's like when
so real.
my mom showed up an hour and a half late to an event that I was doing.
That's amazing.
She thought it was a suggestion.
Oh, that's
She's like,
so
"Oh, the whole
good.
thing finished now?" Yes, Sharon.
That's why it started. Yeah, me today, I was early despite my best efforts to like show up at the time scheduled, and I was just like, well, I should walk from my car because it's 2 blocks away, so I should allow myself 20 minutes to get there. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
It's okay. We don't mind it here.
Okay, cool.
Justin's here from the crack of ass.
I mean,
TBH.
this is entirely true.
When you texted at 6:15 that you were like awake, I was like, I am laying in bed waiting for the second alarm. Thank you to go off right now.
Well,
like, I don't understand what you're saying.
That's factual. But in addition to that, starting at like a new job or like shit like that, I have showed up and be like, well, you know, I don't want to be like too early because, you know, it's just like not trying to set
I don't want to set them up for failure.
Exactly. I was just
You're damn
like,
right.
I was just like, you know what, life happens and, you know, I got other shit going on. But I have been the person to where I'm just like, okay, well, I'm from Chicago. I know these streets well.
Yes.
I'm just going to go ahead and walk the most ridiculous way to finally get to where I am going. And well, shit, now I think I'm going to be late.
Yeah.
Actually.
Then you got to hustle. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, well, that's too
I
much.
was raised by a man who said you can't be late twice. So,
Ooh, I like that.
yeah.
But I found my mentality changed over the last couple years where I was just like, the fact that we ever expect anybody in the universe to be at one specific time at one specific place.
Right.
Like, I don't, what is that? Why? Who said 11 o'clock on the, no, fuck, if you get here within 10, 15 minutes, I don't
It's
really give a
fine.
shit.
Was this man saying that you would be fired?
My
Because
dad?
Your dad was
Yeah.
going to
My
fire
dad,
you?
no. He was like, you can't be late twice. So once you're late, you're already late.
Oh.
So you can't be late twice.
That is
some,
correct
like-
because I was just like, I have been late plenty of times.
Yeah, but you
So I
can't.
was
But
like,
once you're late,
countless
you're
times.
already late.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he also said this
Deep.
like when we were
Yeah.
going to school.
Put that,
It's like,
put that
well,
on my,
you can't be late.
Put that on my headstone. Okay. Like,
Can't be late twice. I've definitely been late more than twice.
yeah, I'm just
It
like,
was actually his birthday
I see a challenge and I rise to
on
it.
Thursday,
So yes.
and I was like, "You can't be late."
word.
Huh.
Can't be
Well.
late twice. Thanks, Shepherd.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sheppy.
Well, so we have, obviously touched upon the brigade system, but I actually want to go a bit deeper into that. So, Jeremy, you have worked in numerous spots with numerous, one would say, like industry personalities. And one of the things that comes to mind, and you and I were talking about this prior, is, the idea of gatekeeping.
Yeah.
For people that don't understand that term in regards to the hospitality industry, how would you explain that to them?
As a straight white male, let me go ahead and put my own foot in my mouth and describe how delicious it is. But
Put in your mouth and you chew it.
yeah,
Swallow it. It's very great. Yep.
I understand, that who's having this conversation, and I make no claims to know anything about anything. I just, I only speak of my experiences and stuff like that. But like in my experience of like the concept of gatekeeping in food, and specifically Chicago, it seems like
It's delightful. I know.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
This is just.
Yeah.
Can I just come back every time you guys are here and just enjoy?
Oh, yeah,
Just sit in the
spending a bed
bar.
with you guys? Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Have some non-alcoholic
Oh,
cocktails.
it's so
Yeah,
nice.
I'm
It's just a
just-
great way to start your day.
Right. And since we're kind of focused in on it right now.
Yeah, go for it. Get in there.
So, another delicious beverage offering from the Garnet crew, again featuring our friends over at Seedlip. This here is just so delicious. I'm like, wait a second. So it is made with
smells like-
Seedlip herbal. I'm so sorry.
Go for it.
No, you're fine. Thyme, lavender syrup, and lemon oil.
It's interesting because like you get the thyme, you get the lemon. You're not hit with the lavender.
Yeah, which is
but like
surprising.
it's like a body that's there. And
It
you're
is
like,
actually
"Ooh."
blended in with it, and it is
Yes.
not its own distinct
No.
This is
flavor.
fire.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
And this
Yes, and this is served over something that we always like to refer to as, the secret ingredient. This is
love. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Ryan has love for us.
Yes, absolutely. And part of me was going to be like, and it was sprinkled in this. That's not true. But so it's just like it is served alongside this beautiful offering from Corey Ice, which for those that have followed us on our industry narrative journey, it is a second chance program, and they cut their ice with the same steel that is used to make samurai swords.
That's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. We did like a little tour of their spot, and I was like I kind of want to be a ninja. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, like, we don't like make the samurai. I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, okay.
You're already pretty close to being a ninja in spirit. You wear all black.
Thank you.
You are very elusive. Like people see you, but then you just disappear. Like they're always like, it's been a minute since I saw you, and you're like, I'm everywhere. So that means that you're not anywhere.
Okay.
If you can't see me.
I was like, well, maybe that needs to be on my headset. Okay. So I was like, you know what? I will stand by that.
Yeah.
But also, I think that it kind of emulates what Kenyatta was saying in a past episode. It's just like, popping out, but make it intentional.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, I rarely do the popping out because I always seem to be out. But it is for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, to everyone else, it seems like it's a pop-up. Like
pop-out.
You're a pop-up.
Oh, I'm a pop-up.
Like
I'm here
everywhere
today.
you go,
Yes,
you're
right.
a pop-up.
That's fair.
You bring a whole vibe.
I mean, facts.
Just saying. So yeah,
thank
you are in spirit a ninja.
Thank you. All right.
Ninja.
Well, again, thank you to our friends at Seedlip and Quarry Ice.
Thanks, guys.
But yeah, so gatekeeping, if you would continue,
sorry.
Jeremy.
I think the short of it is that like people that grew up with, family recipes and cultural food, there seems to be a level of like discomfort and I don't know if it's anger. I'm not sure what it is, because I've tried to have a few of these conversations with people who have expressed, disapproval for, let's call it white chefs making, different ethnicities food and then making money off of it.
Oh yeah, 110%.
Yes.
Right. So that's the issue, is that it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? You're white person from San Jose or whatever it is. And it's just like, I've tried to have a conversation with at least one person about it, and we got pretty in depth about it. What was upsetting about this, and then why did this affect you this way? Like, what's going on? Like get me to the root of it. Hi, Capricorn, need to learn more shit all the time. And I don't really understand who has the say. And why? Why does any person?
I have very strong opinions about it.
And I believe it. And that's, kind of like we were talking, like I want to have this conversation because like the last 2-3 years of my life has been like putting myself in uncomfortable situations, have uncomfortable conversations, and like fucking figure it out. Because like, I mean, as you guys have talked about on this podcast over the last couple of years, is like, we all went through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
And,
absolutely.
And if you didn't come out of, I'm going to call it the Paladin on its crusade.
Yeah. Okay.
If you didn't come out better or like trying to better yourself, like you missed a golden opportunity. And like, this is something that like I try to figure out, because
it's like a Renaissance period for like culinary arts, for sure.
Totally. And it's like the gatekeeping
That's a great way of
thing.
putting it.
I don't understand, like, where's the line drawn? Like, do I get mad if somebody makes like a chicken and rice casserole because like that's what I grew up eating in my Midwestern house? But like we also made stir fry because my dad loved that shit and was like, we don't know what the fuck we were doing.
I think for me, the line is drawn when you're profiting off of something that is not culturally yours. And
that's like everything. No,
well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so this is the thing. Like I had long conversations about this.
Deeper part
because
of the conversation too.
I get really upset like when my very white boyfriend wants to use something that I've made of like a Trinidad dish. And he's like, but you know, it would be really good if we made it into like bread for a cheese sandwich. I'm like, you're not using my doubles dough.
But would
to,
it?
like,
I was just about to say
make
doubles,
it
and
a
I was
thing.
just like,
And I think,
makes me want to have doubles right now. But go
and
on.
there's a difference between like innovation and manipulation. And I think it comes from, and I feel passionate about it because this is like years and years and years of like cultural growth for to be minimized for someone else's gain into something else. And I'm not saying like there can't be white people who make ethnic food and profit off of it. I'm just saying, like, if you're not doing the full cultural research and you're just out here mispronouncing shit and like saying it's your take on something and you're using like ingredients from like all these different regions, you're taking away from like hundreds of years of like cultural growth.
If not longer.
And
Right.
And so like, I think that there has to be a level of like personal respect in you if you're going to like work with these foods. The other part of that is if a person who is from that culture tells you that it's appropriation, it's appropriation.
Right.
And I think that like,
so then what do you do in that situation? And that's, you know, this is where, I
think you have to be more thoughtful the next time you're going into it. Like if you want to do that, I would say work with someone who is well versed in the cooking technique and the culture and all of that, and make sure that you're showcasing that person's like experience and time and work, because that's another thing like in the culinary world that you don't see very often is like a menu could have a million things on it and the chef owns all of them. Like there are certain dishes that I can't make anymore because it was on the menu
put it on somebody
when we
else's
got
menu.
a Michelin star. So like I can never do it again.
Yeah.
And I think that in a larger sense, gatekeeping to me is more about not sharing the knowledge with someone else. Like I've shared tons of Trinidadian recipes with people, but I also like make sure that I instill like even a lot of the foods that I cook from Trinidad, I'm not of Indian descent.
Okay.
But because of culturally, curry is such a large part of it. We all grow up with it. So I'm always very mindful of when I'm cooking like curried dishes that I'm doing it the way that they would do it, like my aunts growing up would do it. And I make sure that I talk to people about like where this came from, how it developed, because I don't want to make it seem like I created this. And I feel like a lot of white chefs are like, I came up with this thing. No, you didn't.
Well, so,
nobody came up with shit, really. At the end of the day, it's like, but like, and this is kind of like where I come from. Like, I grew up in a Polish household. We had sauerkraut,
but they have like
and cabbage, and it was like, but I mean, like, look, let's look at like sauerkraut. Okay, that's just fermented cabbage.
Yes,
every culture's got a version of fermented cabbage. But like, then let's look at fermentation as a whole right now. Like, because Rene Redzepi wrote a fucking book on it. Like, everybody and their mothers, like, I've fucking created fermented chili paste. No, dude, the Chinese have been doing it for 1,000 years.
Exactly,
and that's one of those things that it's like, where's that line drawn?
Because we're trying to draw them because they never existed, because white people have owned everything for so long. So I feel like it's the understanding of like someone is actually saying no now. Yeah. And I feel like all of a sudden they're like, but why? And when we try to explain it, there's so many, I feel like whiteness is no boundaries. It's like nature.
We're terrible.
It's
we're
like
fucking,
nature. Everywhere
you had
it
something.
is.
No, it's ours. Thank you. Yeah. It's
like, I think that it feels uncomfortable to some people because it's the first time they're having a boundary placed on them.
Right.
Yes.
And because people aren't used to hearing no, all of a sudden it's like, well, why is everyone like upset about this? I'm like, we were upset this whole time, but to make it,
we've been mad as hell.
Make it, you have to like play quiet, do nice things and blah, blah. And like, I talk about this all the time, but like fish sauce.
I was just going to ask. I was
men's.
almost like, Jeremy, my dude,
How do you feel about fish sauce?
how do you feel about fish sauce?
Listen, I've learned to understand its place.
Yes.
And
that is the thing. You got to understand the place.
like, I have, some of my former sous chefs are like, I put it in my pasta sauce. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
And they're like, well, no, let's break it down. Cause like in my head, I mean, I worked for Stephanie for, almost, actually about 4 years. And she loves red boat fish sauce because that's what she grew up with. And like her mom, that's what they cooked. And I'm not speaking for anybody here, obviously. Like, let's make that fucking clear.
Yeah.
But like, people gave her shit for using it, but it was like, that's what she grew up with. So it's like, I've come to learn it from her.
Yeah.
Right.
Do I have fish sauce at home now? Abso-fucking-lutely.
I mean, yeah,
have
same.
fish
So
sauce
do
at
I.
home.
It's
But
delicious.
do I claim to know anything about it? No.
Well, and I think that
yeah.
just listening to how this is progressing, and it's not just me physically being in the middle here, but it's just the realization from a front of house standpoint, and when you are, selling these like
items,
menus,
Right.
like these ideas, and it's always the draw of the name on the door
Yeah.
versus the inspiration in which it's anchored in.
Yes.
And
Okay,
it's weird
that's a great way to fucking look at it because
Yeah.
obviously, like on the backside of it, you're taking the idea, the ingredients and stuff like that, and like, if I eat something, I'm like, oh, that was delicious. I want to recreate it because that's just the way my brain
Yeah,
works.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, it's never done out of malice and it's never done out of like, haha, I'm stealing your fucking curry recipe.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Like, that was amazing. Holy shit. Like, how do I recreate that?
Yeah.
Sorry, you continue.
yeah, no, and no, that's great. I just like, I'm always so conflicted because on one side of the coin, I'm just like, they're paying homage. The industry loves an homage. They love that fucking word. But when I keep thinking about it from a deeper level, why has there been, the industry is fractured. We know this, but why is there such an authentic disconnect between what really enriches and inspires people to like how you can create more fiscal responsibility in regards to like bridging that equity gap? Like
That's what I'm saying. Like doing work with like when Jennifer Kim and I did the Trini Korean fusion thing, it was like I did a lot of research into like what things that could culturally like cross paths. Like that's when I learned that there's a huge South Korean embassy in Trinidad. I was like, what the fuck?
Huh.
Like this
I did not
doesn't
know that.
make any sense, but like she was explaining that there's a huge interest in like coming to the Caribbean and learning about Caribbean islands, and Trinidad needs money and South Korea is like, let's do this thing together. And so like creating foods that I like love and respect when I go to like Korean barbecue places and stuff, making that like happen in a Trini like sauce setting was dope.
Yeah.
But I think like that's the way that it should be done. Like, I think that there needs to be like more meeting of the people who like were born and raised eating that food and have taken it to another level. And I think that's the thing. Like, I think that Asian cuisines are the most under attack for like being consumed by white culture because white people tend to not gravitate, but like accept Asian culture a lot more so than like African cultures.
Than anywhere
it's
else.
like the closeness to like whiteness.
Right.
And it's a proximity thing. And I feel like it's been a long time coming for like members of the Asian community to be like, yo, what the fuck? Also, before I forget, I want to say putting fish sauce in pasta sauce isn't too crazy because marinara sauce has
Anchovies.
originally.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was saying originally, ADHD.
You're fine.
Hi, same.
Like
the disco ball is not distracting.
I keep looking at it. I'm like, I feel like if we start actually working with people who have the knowledge of the dishes and the culture, and you're actually learning, and you're not like being like, this is something that I came up with, but it's more of a collaboration. I think that people will understand a little bit more what it is.
And I think it also starts with the fact to where like people have to care first.
Exactly. And no one cared until people were like, please don't do that. And we're like, why?
And then it was directly correlated to, you know, their bottom line, their, you know, profits. And I have expressed it just so much. Money like stresses me out. Like, it's just, I'm like, we could have done literally anything else. And this is what we're doing here.
We chose it.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, this is what we're doing. But so for me personally, I think the idea of the inspiration of care to kind of start bridging those gaps really has to lean into accountability. Certain things that people have done in this industry that they have, you know, built entire groups off of, who's getting the acknowledgement behind the scenes. It's just like no one. It's
the chef.
It's the chef. And I think that it needs to lean into accountability more as well.
How do we do that then? I guess that's like that the next part of these conversations, and like, you know, the perpetually just like fucking putting myself into situations that are like, I recently just had a job where I was the fucking odd man out. Like I was the only white guy in the entire place.
How did that feel though?
I came into it like, fucking let's go. Yeah. Like, let me get it. Let's get into it. And I you know, talk to everybody. Hey, hi, how are you? Start learning more of the language and things. Yeah. I got fired because they didn't like that I was there. At least that's what I took from it. Like, I was not bought into the crew. And, you know, we can, you know, have a sidebar on that off of this, but like, I rolled into it like, this is something that I don't know a ton about, but if I'm gonna learn it, this is where I'm gonna learn it. Yeah. And I was literally kicked to the curb for it, and I was just like, yo, what the? And it's like, and it made me reflect on a lot of shit. Like, okay, how could I have done better? And obviously, I know most people aren't gonna do that. They're gonna be like, fuck those people. They're the enemy. And it's like, nah, I mean, you know, I'm my harshest critic in that sense. So it's like, okay, if I want to know this and I want to learn this and I want to understand more, who do I go to? Like, before I locked my hair, I read a whole book just called Rastafari.
Oh my God. I was like, thank you so much for talking about it, because I woke up this morning and I was like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it.
All good. Because I didn't want to be that fucking, you know, I started these when I was, 2006? Wow. Long time. But it was like, you know, the reason I did it, I saw the Deftones when I was in like grade school, and I was like, oh, that dude's got dreadlocks and plays bass. That's what I want. Nice. Here we are. Rest in peace, Chi Chang. He died. Rest in peace. But, you know, it was like, I did my research, and it's like, white people saying the words, do your research these days is not a good... It's not a good look based off of what happened.
But I am grateful that people are doing the research.
And sometimes it's skewed research, though.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
The internet is the same for everyone.
It's just like, you know, it's just
you can
like,
find whatever you want to find.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's just like, it's comfortable research.
Custom facts.
Exactly.
You can find them there.
Yeah, you're just like, that was awesome. Yes.
So it's like, where do you start? Where do you go? Is it books? What is the best way to bridge it? And, you know.
So I think I understand a little bit of what happens, because sometimes when white people come in being like, I want to learn all this stuff, blah, blah, we're like, are you an undercover cop? Like, what are you trying to do?
What do you want,
what is this information that you want? Yeah. But also, I think that it's also a conversation of like, some spaces are not meant for white people. And I think that Black people have a history of feeling not the safest amongst white people. Yep. And like, I'm used to being the only Black person in a room 100% of the time. I'm so grateful that you are a Black man. Thank you so much.
Hi, hello, it me.
But like, it's I've also like learned how to survive.
Right.
Because
you've had to. You haven't had the fucking privilege of being like, I'm going to do this because I want to.
Exactly. I'm like, this is like what I need to do, blah, 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 to make it happen. So I'm not condoning what they did, but I can see how if someone was like, people are just feeling uncomfortable and they think that you're asking too many questions and like all this stuff. I think that it's sad that happened to you, but also I'm like, that happens to Black people and people of color all the time.
Well, and I definitely feel like it's almost inverted, right? Because just in regards to gatekeeping and whiteness and things like that, I'm just thinking about how with the things that you were mentioning, Jeremy, it maximizes your presence while the white presence is minimizing to everyone else.
Right. I'm laughing at the made up headline in my head. Well-intentioned white man wonders what went wrong.
Yeah.
I obviously I understand who I am having this conversation, but also let's have the fucking conversation.
Yeah,
let's talk about it, because it's like, I'm sure somebody else out there is like, well, I want to learn and I want to know these things. And it's like,
and it's uncomfortable to ask.
Oh, it totally fucking is.
It is. 110%.
Hi. I want to run.
I will like Google stuff at work instead of like asking someone 100%. Sometimes, because I'm just like, do I want to?
I can't ask this fucking question.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
No.
But you know what? Like, fucking, you got to do it. And it's like, I'm sure there are people out there now with what has happened in the last couple of years that are like, no, let's bridge this gap. Let's change some shit. Let's see what's going on. And let's actually have a fundamental understanding of what we're doing here.
Oh my God. I almost had another Clueless reference, because I just thought back to, I don't know, like it just like Clueless just like stays.
It's relevant.
It just stays in my mind. Absolutely. And I'm thinking of when Cher was just like, we get in there, rearrange a few things, like everyone could come to like, my dad's like, whatever.
Oh my God,
and
the
it's
debate.
Just like, it's true.
It is true. I mean, it is. And it's,
add a couple chairs to the table.
Well, that's the thing. That's what they're talking about is like, okay, this is a perfect example.
Hit me.
And it's going to be horrible.
Hit me. Let's go. I'm sitting in it.
So the war's happening. Everyone's like, fuck, we need to like support Ukraine, get them out of there, blah, blah, blah. And my brain, I'm like, yes, 110%. I get it. And then I was like, something is missing here. And the first thing I saw when I went onto Instagram at 6:05 this morning was Amanda Seals posted the thing about
oh my God.
No.
Okay. Sorry. No,
about like white Ukrainians stopping Black people from getting on transportation out of, and it's all like students and refugees and doctors. And I'm just like, oh yeah, racism doesn't take a break for war.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No,
and it's like, that's the sort of thing that like Black people are, and like people of color are dealing with. Right. It's like, we want to be here for everything, but 100% of the time, no one is here for us.
Right.
And I think that like after, 200 years plus of like Black people not having a space, I think that we're now at a point where we're creating spaces for Black people to feel comfortable and confident in learning skills that might not be necessarily offered to them. And then it feels weird when it like is now being used by other people. I think I felt that way when I did, but in a like education level.
Right. I totally see what you're saying, because it's like you've created a thing that you have not had forever.
Yeah.
And then other people come along and go, oh, I want to do that too. It's like, no, this is not your time. And I think
it's having a weird effect on the world right now when you tell people it's not their time.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what do you mean? And it's always like, why
but that's like the, well, it's the, you should calm down.
Yes.
When you tell someone to calm down,
Jesus,
it's like that. They're going to freak the fuck out.
Yeah, they're programmed to do the exact opposite.
And that's what it is.
Yes.
Race cannot be separated from issues, but people have made it so that it has been. So now when we're putting race back into the game, people are like,
whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that's bullshit, because it's like it's never gone away just because you like fucking looked the other way for a couple weeks. Like you didn't change anything.
Or you posted a black square,
right? Great.
On your Instagram.
I would say in 30 years, everyone will be khaki colored, so we're good. Like in 30 years, we'll all be like the same color. So like,
I feel like there are actually plenty of experts out there that have said exactly that.
They're saying 50, but I'm like, am I gonna make it that long?
Well, but then also
50. Let's see here. I'm gonna live till I'm 100. I've decided.
If I live past 65,
carry the one.
Shoot me. Just fucking. I don't want to be those people who like was there for racism, the Civil War. Then back to fucking Trump? Are you kidding me? Those people exist.
You know, just like you must just stay tired because you have had multiple lifetimes.
Imagine like being there for like the beginning of like phones as we know it, and then you now have like a fucking iPhone 12 in a nursing home.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
No,
I don't want that.
I guess I get that. Like so,
and I think like one like just getting older is a blessing, but I feel you on that. Because my grandfather used to say that. He was just like, what's gonna keep you young, Justin? You gotta move. And I was like, move where? He's like, move your body.
I know. I'm trying to do that.
I'm like, I don't want to do that.
I downloaded the Nike training app because Megan Thee Stallion has a series coming up on it. And I was like, if I can get Megan knees, that's all I need.
I don't play video games these days. I don't do anything else. I clean, I cook, and then I play video games.
You're moving your mind.
That's what I got you. It requires mental dexterity to do the things that I'm doing.
Mental dexterity.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a vibe.
Yeah, that is all.
I don't have that.
I am taking that home and putting it above my computer.
I have I have none of that. I have no short-term memory.
No mental dexterity.
No. I don't. I don't have any of that.
Yes, you do.
Well, it's either that or just like fucking endless void of chaos and pit of despair. So it's like, let's focus on some dragons and stuff, or else we're going down.
I just got out of the depression level of like not wanting to learn about what's happening in the world, so like reading articles again.
I'm in it now.
I'm in it. Yeah. I'm like 2 weeks ago I was like, I can read the news again.
No.
I can't watch the news, but I like to read articles about what's happening.
I was talking to my friend Elle not too long ago, and I felt like I blacked out during this conversation because they were like, yo, can you please just like bring it all in and just have some positivity? It's just like, you got lungs in your air. Excuse me.
I'm like, what the fuck is positivity?
Yeah, but I was just like, instead of having lungs in my air, like I had air in my lungs, and it's just like, there's all these things like in life in general that is just like gonna bog you down. But it's like you have to find those little positivity moments. But I was just like, okay, so you don't have notifications turned on your phone either.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I was just like, okay, but
nope, turn them off.
Yeah, I'm like, shout out to people that can do that, but also it's just I cannot. Another question that I wanted to ask you, Jeremy, what do you think the general public should be mindful of when it comes to certain industry heavyweights?
People or just like
organizations, the whole
everybody.
thing,
everybody,
the quote unquote star chef idea.
Well,
and actually, it's no longer an idea. I mean, it's a reality.
It is a reality, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
And the restaurant industry versus the public is such an interesting fucking thing, and this is something that I struggle with all the time. And like being out of work now for a little bit, I've had a lot of time to like really figure some shit out in my head, and it's like the restaurant industry is. We'll start here, this one point, and then I'll get to your heavyweights and the star culture and stuff like that. Like the restaurant industry is the one purchasable good or service that somebody can say that's not worth that.
Yes.
And,
100%.
I know you don't like money makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
In money is my comfort. Like anybody that owns a restaurant should absolutely be making fucking money. And that comes from the customer paying for the goods and the services.
Yes.
And it's like, for some reason, we have empowered the customers to be like, no.
I fucking hate that.
I didn't like that. I don't want to pay for it. Guess what? I bought vegetables I didn't fucking like. I didn't bring them back to Jewel and say, hey, give me my money back.
Exactly.
Tough shit, dude. Like, that's the cost of it. Like,
well, that's also because we have been socialized as kitchen people to like not really complain about anything.
Cannot.
Like, I will never return something to a kitchen. Like, if I go somewhere to eat
I can't do it.
and
I'll
something's wrong, I'll eat it. I'll fucking eat it, and I won't say anything because I'm like, I know what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if I don't say anything, you're still gonna get like 5 complaints from like the tables around me because people just have opinions,
Right.
And we have
like,
led them to believe
My mom
that they
tried
can
to
say
send
them.
back something one time, and I was just like,
you can't do that.
Dolores, if you do not,
I will eat it.
Yeah, I was
You
just
can
like,
order something else.
You want to switch?
I'm like,
You can
it's
have
entirely
mine's
fine.
delicious. You hear it.
Yeah.
Let's
I was like, you know what? I just need a to-go box, and it's fine. They're
good.
like, are you certain?
Yes.
And I'm just like, I am absolutely positive, and
Yep.
do not ask me
Here's
about
your
it one more time.
25% tip.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You were
minimum,
wonderful.
At minimum, I was just like, here you go. Do you want me to stack these for you? Like, I'm
Yeah, exactly.
110%.
Yeah.
I'm just like, am I helping or hindering? Right
I know.
now?
It's
Like-
delicate balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the heavyweights, the stars, the big groups and things like that. And I can only speak to my experience. I've worked for 2, let's call them celebrity chefs. One I met twice in 2 years. The other, I had worked the line and worked services with and developed menus with and saw this person 6 days a week fire a tasting at every single restaurant that they own in Chicago to make sure that the food quality was the same.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a spectrum on that shit of who's going to be a hardworking person and who's going to be like, I'm fucking smiling for pictures and that's
Yeah.
it. And like, you know what? These people didn't get there by accident. They didn't get there by being in the room at the right time. It's like these people had to work. Like this industry doesn't give a shit about you.
No.
The public doesn't give a shit about you. Like it's tough because if you want to get to that level, you have to work so much harder than fucking Joe Schmo trying to get a Michelin star.
Yeah.
And what you're doing in doing that, in my opinion, is you're just like, my knees, I got 40 years on my knees and then I need new ones or I need to stop being on a concrete floor all day. So
Exactly.
it's like you set up for that after, like, because for a lot of us, there is no, well, this is after I'm done cooking. No, for the majority of us, it's like, well, I'll cook until I can get on disability or
like my brother was talking about retiring.
the fuck is
And
that?
I was
my
like,
God.
I don't
Yeah.
know what you're saying.
No,
That is not a thing for me.
these heavyweights, they are getting to a point to where they can retire or
Yep.
they already are. And it's like, would I love to have those comforts? Absolutely. Do I think a lot of the changes of the industry and conversations that have happened over the last 2 years are starting to affect some heavyweights in the way that they perceive things? Absolutely.
Yep.
I think that these kind of conversations need to continue to happen. In being unemployed, I've spoken to a few people about jobs and then they get to compensation and you're like, what? What do you mean?
Yep.
No, I'll wait it out to find the right thing
To have a livable wage.
Dude, totally. And my older brother who got me into nightclubs and stuff earlier, he's now into like big events and marketing and stuff. And he was out of a job for a while because of, the last 2 years and there were no events. And he explained it to me and he goes, when you have an offer in front of you and it doesn't line up with you, he's like, have the conversation of being like, if I say yes to you, I say no to myself.
Yep.
And I was like, what does that mean? And it's like kind of looking at the values have to align. And I think that some of the heavyweights are listening and having conversations with their staff and, their people underneath them and stuff like that. Because, the face isn't always the umbrella.
Yeah.
Like you're at the pinnacle of it. And then it's like, there's probably 400 people that work underneath, the faces at the festivals and on TV.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure Guy Fieri's got a fucking entourage with him
110%.
Okay, but
but like he's a real so.
But like, look at what
he's a really
he
nice
does.
guy. Yeah, he's a very nice person.
Like all the shit in California, he was like, no, I'm not gonna say the two words that end in ing and out.
Yes,
but like just showed up and was like, we're cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
also he did a ton during
of relief.
Yeah.
He's done more for restaurants than the fucking government did.
Yeah.
Like,
that
dude is a saint.
He's a very, very nice man. And every weekend, all the food
the fucking grocery store.
Yeah, they donate it to food banks, local food banks.
Fucking have it.
Amazing.
It was like being on that set. It was great.
That is a prime example of that.
But then you have properties and you have groups that, because of, policy, they'll be like, oh, well, I mean, like this leftover food, it has to go in the trash because.
Yeah, I know someone who got fired from the peninsula because they were going to throw out the Thanksgiving pies.
Oh, what?
And they took like 2 of them and they got fired. Even though they're going in the trash.
I can confidently say that I have never worked for any company or organization that aligned with that value.
That's great.
We took care. We took care of people. While 2020 happened, I was unemployed for 3 months. But for those 3 months, and I'll say this on record, Steph organized it with all of her purveyors and out of her pocket to feed every one of her restaurant employees groceries every Friday for the entire time that we were all closed from March 15th till the middle of June when Cabra reopened because we had a rooftop patio. Every Thursday I went and I broke down chickens. I bagged up produce, eggs, cheese, milk, cream, every vegetable you can imagine. I mean,
that's so much.
For what is that? That's 3 full months of doing that. And then like wasn't out here like, oh, look at me, look at what I'm doing. No. Do the fucking work and let's go and let's
that's the thing. Just get the work done. You don't have to like tell everyone you're doing it. Move in silence.
Right.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't like to move in silence.
No.
And I think that might
I feel like Justin thinks that I move in silence about the podcast because I always forget to like rate up when I do stuff. And it's like, it's not because of that. It's just like, I'm honestly still surprised that people listen to us on the internet.
Dude, I literally found this podcast organically through somebody in the industry. And I listened and I was like, this is fucking cool.
It's a warming feeling. I don't like it.
Accept it.
I know.
Accept
do you
it.
hate compliments too?
Yes.
You're like, get this away from me. Get this away from me.
Crawling out of my skin.
I'm uncomfortable.
Well, so I have to do the infamous sigh.
Is it
in closing?
Because we are, getting to the point to
we
where we have
approaching
to
the mark?
we have to do the things that we know to do. But I, Jeremy, have a final question for you because we spoke about quite a bit, as per usual.
We did.
So
I feel like we could talk for days.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And we would love to have you back. And, we'll have like a part 2 and all of that good stuff.
I got plenty of time.
Okay, perfect.
So y'all let me know when I will be here.
Not a problem at all. But so where do you find peace within the industry? Like things that like really, really inspire you? And I think you kind of just alluded to it just a brief moment ago, but I wanted to ask that question directly.
It's interesting, and I don't want to sound, pompous or anything, but like I've found that there isn't much, so I've tried to create as much as I could.
Yep.
And with my previous staffs and everything, like the switch in mentality of like people make the food. Right? Take care of your people and you'll have good food.
100.
And once I found that I started to kind of open up my emotional receptors because again, Capricorn, we ain't good at that. To kind of like give everybody around me a little bit of a, hey, how are you doing? Are we good? What's going on? How are you today?
Asking a question and actually like seeming like you want to hear what the person is going to say. That's like a big like step.
That opened me up to like kind of like find that peace, like you said. And it's, I hope that shit continues and wherever I land next, like, that's
and I think it's something
1.
that you just have to take with you.
You have to, you have to leave it there too.
Yeah.
Like, don't stop doing that because I'm not there. But like also wherever I go next, bet your ass we're doing that. And Fridays we're wearing Hawaiian shirts. Because we did that, and we did it at Cabra in the middle of everything. Once we were reopened and we were busy, and it was hard because we didn't have everybody. We had a staff of like 35 down to 10.
Wow.
Doing similar business and stuff. So it was like my sous chef, shout out Drew Keen, was like, dude, what if we just wore Hawaiian shirts on Friday? And I pulled out my phone and I ordered the most ridiculous one on Amazon. I hit purchase and I just showed it to him, and he goes, all right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to do like something to bring a little bit of joy, like real, like silly joy
just, like,
to a situation.
Stop taking yourself so serious.
That's what I've been saying this whole fucking time. Like, no matter what restaurant I was at or Michelin star or not, it's like,
fuck it, it's food.
You have to laugh. And I think I've always been that type of personality, but I think that working for Ryan Pfeiffer,
I want to work for him so bad.
He definitely like brought that energy with him like every day and everything that he did, and it made me feel better about like not being as serious.
Yep.
Because I think part of how I dealt with like the intensity of certain kitchens was to channel my inner white man. And then I realized that like by the time I was 5 years in, I just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm fighting. I'm going to like speak up for what I want. Because just in general, like women are not socialized to do that. No. So I think that I like absorbed that energy from like all the white dudes around me. And then when I got to like a management level, I was like, oh shit, this is toxic. Like I have to change the way that I interact with people. And I have to like not be a bro anymore. Yeah. In that way.
You fight to get it, and then you're like, all right, let's fucking change
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like 36-year-old man, I don't really want to be friends with anybody. I want to be friends with Ryan Pfeiffer. Like legit, like that dude is inspiring on so many levels.
He's wonderful.
And he would feel deeply uncomfortable if you were saying
I
it
know
right
that.
now.
Also, worked on a tiny horse farm? What the fuck is that life? Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I saw him at my friend's birthday party, and he was there for like 15 minutes total. Came in, said hi to everyone, and then he was leaving, and he was like, Reba's good to see you, and gave me a hug. And it was like the nicest hug that I've had in a while. Then he walked over to my boyfriend and did the same thing. And my boyfriend looked at me. He's like, I want to be his best friend.
There's something.
And I'm like,
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm in that club.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
I know. It's really happening.
I know.
Now.
It's really.
What if I just keep talking and then don't let you interject so that we will have to continue the episode? Don't think for a second that I'm not the youngest child of 4 boys, and I can and will make my presence known by not stopping the conversation that I am unwilling to let end.
Terms of service filibuster in effect right now.
I'll filibuster your ass.
I feel that energy though. I'm also the last of 4, and I'm like, my brother was visiting this week, and he was like, I'm not trying to get in a fight with you. I was like, that's how I'm talking.
In comfort zone.
Yeah.
We could go.
No.
I was like, I don't want to interrupt you, but I fucking will.
You will not. If I don't let you, you will not, sir.
Like, oh my God. Well, thank you for that, because now I'm actually sweating. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
How can we find you though?
Yes. How
on
can
the
we
internet?
find you?
Instagram at Jeremy Dreads.
Awesome.
It's half pictures of my wife, half pictures of silly things or food. And that's really about it. Not really doing anything else right now.
Great.
If you want to find me in the World of Warcraft, I'm on Illidan. My character's name is Farthammer.
Oh my God.
Farthammer.
It's also my license plate.
Amazing. Okay.
And that's it.
There's definitely going to be a part 2 to this episode, because I want to hear all about that.
That's the end of my episode.
Yeah. That is great. So I have to give the wonderful appreciation that brings all of this together. First and foremost, I would love to thank our friends here at Blind Barber for hosting this necessary conversation. Also, our wonderful friends at Seedlip, not only for their product, but their support. And also, so this episode will be dropping in April. And Seedlip is thrilled to announce that they are becoming a member of 1% for the Planet. And through their bespoke process with each botanical, Seedlip captures the essence of nature to invigorate the senses and connect people to nature to their roots. The importance of this connection to nature is why they chose to become a 1% for the Planet member, and they are vastly honored to be a part of this community. And with that, they are honored to announce that they are partnered with We Got Next. And people are like,
who is she? Tell us more.
Who is that?
We Got Next amplifies individual stories of adventure and activism from communities that have been underrepresented in outdoor conservation and environmental spaces. They share their vision of a world where everyone is inspired to fall in love with nature because they see reflections of themselves in outdoor spaces. Experiences with nature ground us in our shared humanity, strengthening both our individual and collective roots. So shout out to Seedlip and also We Got Next.
Yep.
In closing from me, I just want to give a supreme shout out to not only the amazing crew that helps us bring this together, Cortez, Max, Ryan from Garnet Crew, Daniel, Nariba, I appreciate you more than I can ever express. Just thank you so much. You're absolutely wonderful. And then this, like, you know, I'm really feeling like the amplification here of like all the greenery and then, you know, like the books. Like I'm feeling real regal.
Really, it's fancy.
It's giving.
It is giving.
It is giving.
It's
it
giving.
is giving. And so, and on that note, my friends, I am Justin Arnett Graham, and you can find me on Instagram at This Is Biko, and also Terms of Service Podcast on Instagram. Like, follow, all of the things, and we will see you out there. Nariba?
Yeah. It's
Here
over.
we go.
My name is Nariba Shepherd.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to need to, like a little bit, like, you know.
My name's Nariba Shepherd.
Thank you
can
so much.
find me on Instagram at Rebaru, Rebaru. I'm also on TikTok. It's very sad. It's like real sad. But yeah. I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
Okay, bye.
Love y'all.
Bye.
That's over.